lesson today is a bit of a shorter one, and we're going to be talking about coterminal and negative angles. So essentially what a coterminal angle is an angle that shares the same terminal arm as another angle. The word coterminal comes from the root word co, that prefix co, which just means to share. So you've heard of words like cooperation, which means that you're sharing with someone else, or other words that begin with co. So that's what co means. Coterminal means that they're just sharing the same terminal arm. So as you can see on this diagram here, if I draw my terminal arms just out like this, and I tried to come up with what the angle measurement could be, well, I would start at my initial arm and I would come upwards to right around here. And because I know I'm in quadrant 2, this angle has to be somewhere between 90 and 180 degrees. So let's just say that this is perhaps 140 degrees. Alright. Well, if I wanted a coterminal angle to this, I can create a coterminal angle by continuing around my xy plane until I get back to the terminal arm. So for instance, I could go all the way around, so I'm at 90, 180, 270, and now I'm at 360, and if I keep going, I would get all the way back to right here at this terminal arm. And so I would have an angle that has gone around one full rotation, so 360 degrees, plus another 140 degrees to my terminal arm. So 360 degrees plus that extra 140 degrees gives me a total angle of 500 degrees. And we would say that 500 and 140 are coterminal angles. So 140 degrees and 500 degrees are coterminal angles. And you can come up with many, many more examples of angles that are coterminal to both of these. I could do another rotation around and simply add 360 degrees more onto this, so 860 degrees would also be a coterminal angle. Or I could rotate around twice more and add 720 degrees, and that would be another coterminal angle. So you can see that there's infinite positive coterminal angles. So for my example that I have here, I said, what is a coterminal angle, or what are the coterminal angles of 60 degrees? Well, let me reset my diagram here, and I'll redraw on, or I'll rotate around my terminal arm, and let's get to 60 degrees. So we know 60 degrees, if we start at 0, we come all the way up to around 45, and so 60 is about 2/3 of the way up to 90 degrees. So this would be 60 degrees right in here. So to find a coterminal angle of 60 degrees, I simply just keep rotating around. So I could start here, come all the way around, and then get back to my terminal arm right here. So I did one full rotation of 360 degrees plus an extra 60, so this would be 420 degrees. So 60 degrees and 420 degrees are coterminal. If I wanted another one, I could simply add 360 more, so another full rotation, and this would be 780 degrees. If I wanted another one, I could add another 360 degrees, and that would end up being 1140 degrees, and so on and so forth. We mentioned in an earlier lesson that angles could also be negative. So positive angles rotate around the xy plane in a counterclockwise fashion, whereas negative angles will rotate in a clockwise fashion. So if we still look at our angle of 60 degrees here, and I want to look for a negative coterminal angle, so an angle that shares the terminal arm but goes in the negative direction, well, I could just go to start in the other direction. So start at your initial arm here on the positive x-axis, but rotate around the other way. So I would hit negative 90 degrees there, negative 180 degrees there, negative 270 here, and then how much extra do I go to get to my terminal arm? Well, if this is 60 degrees here, that means this little chunk has to be 30. So negative 270 plus an extra 30 is negative 300 degrees. So, in fact, negative 300 degrees is coterminal to all of these other angles that are there. And again, I could figure out another coterminal angle by adding another 360, or I should say subtracting another 360 degrees, because we're going in the other direction. So by subtracting 360 more degrees, so another full rotation in the other direction. So negative 660 degrees is another coterminal angle. So on a quiz or test, if you're asked to find coterminal angles, you might be asked to find a positive one and a negative one. So just keep adding 360 or subtracting 360 degrees from your initial angle, and you'll end up with some coterminal angles. The final thing we're going to discuss in this lesson is how can we find the exact values of some of our coterminal angles. So I have two examples here. What's the exact value of the cosine of 570? And then we're going to look at what the exact value of the tangent of negative 405 is. So let's start with cosine of 570. I want to be able to draw this on my xy plane. So I'll start at my initial arm here, and I'll draw an angle 570 degrees around. So I get around, I know 570 is at least 360 degrees. And then I keep going, so 360 plus 90 is 450. And then plus another 90 is 540. And so I need to go an extra 30 degrees to get to my terminal arm. So let's draw on my terminal arm here. There we go. So all of this added up, that's 570 degrees total. And let's see here. Now I have a reference angle beta that I could draw in here. So remember, I'm going to pick some random point here, and I can draw a dotted line up to the x-axis. We always go to the x-axis. Forms a right angle triangle. And I get my reference angle in here. Well, if this whole thing was 570, I came 540 degrees to right here, and then added an extra little chunk of 30. So my reference angle beta is going to equal 30 degrees. That goes right in there. Okay, so let's figure out what the cosine of 30 degrees is. Well, using our special triangles, I'll draw the one with 30 degrees out here really quick. So 30 degrees is here, 60 degrees is here, right angles here, 1, 2, root 3. Okay, so cosine of 30, 30 is right here. Remember, cosine's adjacent over hypotenuse, so root 3 over 2. So if I know that's the related angle, cosine 570 would have the same ratio, but now I need to use cast rule to figure out if it's positive or negative. So because I'm in quadrant 3, remember cast rule says C, A, S, T, only the tangent ratio is positive in quadrant 3, which means the cosine of 570 has to be negative. So negative root 3 over 2. Perfect. Okay, what about the tangent of negative 405 degrees? So let me erase this here, and we'll start again. So the tangent, let me delete this, the tangent of negative 405 degrees. There we go. So again, start at the terminal arm. We'll do this in green. And we'll go around negative 405 degrees. So remember, negative means we go clockwise. So I'm going to go negative 360 to start. And then I'm going to have to go another 360. So if I go another, how much more is left? 45 more degrees. So right to about there. And I'll draw a terminal arm right there. So this was negative 405 degrees. Well, what's my related angle in here? So beta, because I went 360 and I had to add another 45 degrees on the tail end, so my related angle beta here is 45 degrees. So let's figure out what tan of 45 is. using my 45-degree triangle, 1, 1, root 2. I know tan is opposite over adjacent, so 1 over 1. But because I'm in quadrant 4, only C, or only cosine ratio, is positive. So again, this is going to end up being negative. So the tan of negative 405 is going to be negative 1. There you go. So that is coterminal and negative angles. And hopefully this lesson, being a quick one, was good for you tonight.
Fire! Wind! Water! Heart! Go Planet!
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
Captain Planet!